let's say we found out that Kick was funded by an Israeli entity, and then people are like, well, how did he not know? Steven got a pretty sizable chunk of money from Kick. Kick is this, and let's say there's internal comms between Train or someone else. I don't know anyone else at the company.
Yeah.
Train, let's say, has a bigger role, and these like Israeli Mossad agent or something. Can you map that onto like, okay, how do you go and defend yourself on stream the next day?
Yeah, easily. One is I'm posting my contract with Kick. Two is I'm posting every conversation that me and Eddie have ever had. And then three, I'm posting any other communications between me and that company because I'm not going to have any. Oh, and then four, I'm probably posting every receipt for every single dollar that I spent when I was in Israel. Like, yeah, there's no way that I'm going to leave that open to, oh, well, maybe I was compromised, guys, LOL, and then not say anything about that. Absolutely not. If I think I'm in the right. Now, if I think I was doing some shady shit, I might just release one statement on Twitter, maybe do a couple of softball interviews with other people that are politically aligned with me, and then not mention it anymore going forward and pretend nothing ever happened. But
you wouldn't give the money back though if you thought you were in the right.
For giving the money back, so this was the second thing that I brought up.
Yeah.
One thing that I wonder is how much work somebody put in. So this feels really subjective, and then I guess you can help me here. I don't know. I wonder if there's like a standard for this in criminal court. So I'm thinking on this channel, I'm thinking of Lauren Southern's content, and then I'm thinking of Tim Pool's content. So it looks like for Tim Pool, they broadcast this show. It was a non-exclusive license. It was on their channel anyway. Like this was
like a fan channel.
Yeah, and this was just like bonus money that he was collecting. There was no opportunity cost for Tim to do this show on that platform. They weren't losing out on anything.
Have you seen The Wire?
Yes.
Obviously. You know Clay Davis?
Yeah.
I'll take anyone's money if he's just giving it away. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But when I was looking at Lauren's stuff, and I could be wrong, maybe this was cut from her main channel. I didn't notice. I don't think she publishes as much on her main channel, but it looked like Lauren was doing a lot of specialty content for the channel. And it might have been true of those other smaller content creators as well. If that's true, taking that money feels a lot worse. Like, let's say that Matt or Taylor.
A lot better for Lauren, you mean?
What do you mean?
Because Lauren is. Oh, sorry. Is it better for Tim or better for Lauren? If Lauren is making specifically curated content for Tenet, I could see how it could cut both ways. On the one hand, it seems like there's more potential for editorial influence. But on the other hand, there seems to be a more reasonable expectation that, hey, I'm doing something for which I'm getting paid, and that payment is much less than what Tim Pool is getting for just this licensing thing.
Oh, kind of. Actually, I'm on a totally different track here. Yeah, if this is like a two-prong, okay, we'll call this the Loron test, okay? This would be like a two-pronger. The first one is like if you've passed or exceeded any reasonable threshold for knowing that the money is like illegitimate, then you at that point. It really doesn't matter, okay? But let's say that you survive.
There's a total incredibleness of the money, which is just going to override everything. If it's so beyond the pale.
If it's so beyond the pale, yeah.
Okay.
Number one, but then number two, the second part would be. Then, like, let's say you really didn't know reasonably. Number two is I'd be wondering, like, how much did you sacrifice to make content for them? So, like, that's what I'm saying for Tim Pool's show. It doesn't look like they really sacrificed anything at all. They still broadcast it. They could publish it on their own channel. They could do whatever they want. But if those other three content creators, the three smaller ones, if all of them were putting in, like, hours and hours and hours into making content for this channel, and then afterwards you're like, okay, well, this was a bad channel, and even though you guys didn't know, now you have to lose anything, they're getting severely because they could have been doing other work, you know?
So in the calculus about whether or not
they should give it back,
you would consider whether or not they made like a genuine effort at some legitimate enterprise or like some kind of legitimate effort that we would respect. Unless, but if they knew, that would all go away if they actually knew it was. Yeah,
that's why I said it's like a two-prong. Like if they fail if they fail the first one, then fuck. But like imagine you've got like some like imagine there's let's imagine there's like a single mom. She's got two kids. Okay, she lives in the hood. Some guy's like run drugs for us, and she's like, okay, I'll do it. Makes a lot of money, feeds her kids, and then you find out, okay, well you knew you were running drugs. Like I'm sorry, you're right. But let's say there's let's say you take that same lady and she's working for a drug enterprise's like front company, but she doesn't know, but she is working full time for them. But she doesn't really know, and reasonably she wouldn't know. And then you bust the drug company. Like, would you make her give all the money back? Do you think there's anything meaningfully different here or no? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I know, I get what you're saying. I think we would want people who are less culpable and who were like you in the Israel case, I guess, even though because you're putting in time, right? You're limiting your exposure on YouTube.
Exactly. Opportunity cost there, yeah. To like work on another platform. And if you didn't know, oof, that's, yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Is there a world in which it's so bad, it's so obviously an Israel op, it's such in bad faith that maybe just you give it anyway, even though it's just out of principle? Or is it harder to see? Or maybe we need another example.
Out of principle. I don't know. I don't know what I don't even know what the principle would be, I guess.
They're like, I don't even want people to reasonably think that my opinions at all were influenced.
Oh yeah. Well, oh no, that wouldn't be. But that wouldn't be out of principle. That'd be out of pragmatism, right? Like, oh,
okay.
I might give it back out of pragmatism, but it wouldn't be out of. It'd be like, oh well, I don't want anybody to think it was weird. Here's $1 million to Gaza or something, right?
Got it.
There is a the issue that I have with this. Okay, and you can maybe I'm thinking too into this, and it's actually just bad on his face. The reason why I don't like the idea of them accepting money isn't necessarily because they're getting money from Russia. It's that if I think that there's a reasonable expectation that they should have known, then what I think is they're probably creating their content with that in mind. That's the issue. So is it really a mistake that Tim Pool lands a $500,000 a year gig, sweet gig, that he knows is probably coming from Russia, and now his takes on his channel are insanely anti-Ukraine? Like, let's say that a report comes out and it shows, oh, in a Zapista or Bucha or whatever the fuck, Mariupol, like 5 million Russians raped, 10 million Ukrainian children. Is he looking at that story on his desk and he's thinking, I could cover this, but oh man, I don't know. Maybe we just shouldn't talk about this today, right? That's the problem I have,
Got it. Okay, that makes much more sense. And
sorry, $500,000 a month, not a year. Go ahead.
Yeah, $500,000 a month, right? Yeah, it was like 100,000 a week, right?
It was 100,000 a week for one episode, yeah. So 400,000 a month.
And his whole thing is, I was going to do the episode anyway, and the episode, like, nothing changed about anything I was doing, the nature of what I was doing. I was just taking free money essentially.
Yeah.
And I'm the victim.
Yeah.
Okay, but I guess what I'm struggling with is, so you have in the indictment Lauren Chen saying this amount of money that we're paying them is not enough to sustain any kind of platform. Like, we're gonna lose a shit ton of money and we'll never break even. Lauren Chen is saying that.
Yeah.
I have to think that if Lauren Chen is thinking that, Dave Rubin and Tim Pool are also thinking that, and they must know that this cannot be a profitable enterprise.
While that is true, I'm going to walk on a very, very, very short branch here and just explain this marketing idea that you're going to understand immediately. If you don't already understand it, you probably do, okay? But this isn't to excuse their behavior, but you do expect as a large content creator that people's initial platform investments are going to be done at a loss, right? Kick didn't make money on my deal. Absolutely not. And Kick didn't make money, probably doesn't even make money on their current deals, right? Twitch is still is still losing money on all of their deals. So you would expect there to be a loss. You wouldn't necessarily expect them to be, revenue positive, to be making a profit, but not that much, not at that insane of a level. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's helpful for me to. So what are you going to be calling on Tim Pool and Dave Rubin to do? More transparency?
I think it would be very interesting to see their contracts. If for no other reason, to see, hey guys, here's some things to keep in mind. And I don't want to answer your question. I hate you. I want to kill you.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. Here's what should happen if you were an American citizen that cared about your country and cared about the integrity of your media apparatus, okay? What you would do is you would come forward and you would give a full breakdown on everything that happened from start to finish so that other content creators could understand how people could fall for these traps, so that other people in your field could avoid these in the future, so that you know what to look for, so that your fans don't lose trust in you, because now they should all be looking at you going like, hey bro, you said you're an investigative journalist. How are you taking $5 million a year from Russia without even raising your eyebrows? And you should just do it for general faith and confidence in your industry, right? Because something, again, this is going to just kind of come and go over these people's shoulders because they're conservatives and they have absolutely no standards of human decency or behavior. But imagine if you, me, Josiah, and Lonerbox were all getting paid by some company and it turns out that it was Israeli funded. Right? Would anybody in that sphere ever take me? It would be over. Even if I could prove that I didn't know anything about it, it would be over for me, right? They'd be spamming this under every single post until the end of time. People already say that I'm paid by the Mossad, right? So that would be, if they were good faith actors, there would be an incredible amount of transparency that they would be coming out around all of this. If for, not even for themselves, but just to help the industry. Like, how do we help people avoid this type of stuff in the future? This is really, really, really bad.
When you're on Piers Morgan and one of these clowns is on there, you said that's the first thing you're going to bring up.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm on Monday. I don't know who's on with me.
What are you saying? Like, what did you know? When did you know it?
Yeah, why haven't you released anything?
Yeah.
And then the answer is going to be, and I hope I remember to follow through this. I'm going to say, why haven't you released anything? Are you going to? They're going to say, well, there's an ongoing FBI investigation. I'm not sure. Okay, well, you commit today, right now, that once it's over, that you will release everything you have relating to this, so that we can see. Yeah, and then it's going to be. They might say yes to it and just never do it in the future. But yeah.
Oof. I hate these people so much.
Yeah, it's really, really, really bad. Every single thing.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right. Bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.